a tough decision to move on from a player in the offseason, or the decision now to whether you're going to make the move at quarterback or not.
You're not making that move, right, Doug, to a different quarterback?
Not today on Wednesday, no.
Okay, possibly for Monday?
I'm focused right now on getting better today. I mean,
Okay.
we're looking, I don't know. I mean, I would say no.
Carson's your starter for Monday?
Yes.
Max, Thanksgiving's a feel-good holiday. Happens to be my favorite, but I'm forced to ask the difficult questions here on this show called First Take. Should Philly bench Carson?
They should have benched him, a month ago or 3 weeks ago when I first brought it up. It doesn't matter anymore, just to hold him accountable. I don't think it matters anymore. But the bigger thing for me is that was shocking sound from the presser, I think. I don't think Doug Peterson has the power to bench him unilaterally. I don't think he can make that decision. And he was asked the other day, does he have the autonomy to do it? And he avoided the question, right? He was evasive. He didn't answer it directly. So it felt to me at this presser like he came out and either like he got a message that he's supposed to send that, yes, he can make the decision, and either he feels like, I really can't, or he's been told explicitly he can't. That's how it sounds to me. I mean, he came out there first and said, he starts talking about organizational changes, moving on from a quarterback, and then he moves on to, as of now, Wednesday. This was yesterday. As of Wednesday, he's the starter. Wednesday? Well, hold up. Is he going to be the starter on Monday? And he equivocates, and finally he squeaks out yes. Listen to this again. Listen to the end part again.
You're not making that move, right, Doug, to a different quarterback?
Not today on Wednesday, no.
Okay, possibly for Monday?
I'm focused right now on getting better today. I mean, we're looking, I don't know. I mean, I would say no.
Carson's your starter for Monday?
Yes.
Say it with your chest, Coach. Say it with your chest. Carson, your starter on Monday? Yes. Mike Tomlin, we ask him that question. Yes, this guy's starter. Peterson, yeah. That is a guy, Stephen A., who sounds to me like he does not have the autonomy to bench the quarterback. And that sounds like a coach who's thinking about his job, who's scared for his job, who doesn't know if he has the power to do what he needs to do as a coach.
I think you're reaching. And the reason why I think you're reaching, Max, is because of a couple of things. I'm going to defer to a quote that Doug Peterson made. I don't need to call it up or whatever because I think the audience would rather hear me speak than him. But I will tell you this. He did say, quote, in terms of Carson Wentz, he said, we are conceding to losing. I'm paraphrasing here. He said, basically, you're throwing away the season. Max, that is an indictment against Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has thrown 2 professional passes in the National Football League. Jalen Hurts was at the University of Alabama playing in a national championship game and had one of the most horrendous first half performances that we had seen. He got benched for Tua Tagovailoa, and that obviously put Tua on the map because he ultimately brought Alabama back and they won a national championship against Georgia. We understand that. He had to transfer to Oklahoma, and even though he had a stellar season, primarily it's due to his running ability because when you watch him throw the football, it's been a challenge. You can't replace Carson Wentz with a dude that struggled to throw the football in college and has only 2 professional quarterback throws in the National Football League. Eventually, I think that Jalen Hurts is a stud athlete, so eventually I think he'll improve his throwing ability, and as a result, he'll get his opportunity. But it certainly can't be now, and that's really what this is about, which brings me back to Peterson. You got Miles Sanders, you got Boston Scott. These dudes run the football exceptionally well. They have been running the football effectively. Why not run the football more and throw less? You've got an offensive line that clearly can run block. Both of them are averaging at least 4.8 yards a carry. Why not do that? You look at some of the weapons that they have, whether it's Fulgham, whether it's Rager, whether it's Goddard, who's back now. You've got weapons. So the bottom line is, why has Carson Wentz regressed over the last 3 years? If Doug Peterson's a bit nervous, maybe he should be nervous. Maybe he should be looking in the mirror. Because how does Carson Wentz comes back from that nasty injury where he was 11-2 4 years ago, Max, before going down, and Nick Foles steps in and wins them a Super Bowl? The next year you come back, you go 5-6 in your 11 starts, but you're completing about 68, 69% of your passes. And from that point, you've plummeted 63%. Now you're down to 58%. You have regressed under Doug Peterson. So maybe, just maybe, we should be looking at Doug Peterson a little bit more and asking him, since your defense stinks, since you've had some injuries, since you have a running game that you've ignored with no viable reason to ignore, since you've done all of those things, why are we not looking at the quarterback? Why are you not looking at the coach, as opposed to Carson Wentz? That's all I'm saying.
Because, look, first of all, the Jalen Hurts point. Stephen A., I say this every time the subject comes up. Hurts, right, like Howie Roseman, if he thought Hurts could be the quarterback of the future, God bless him, right? Even in college, it was unclear whether Hurts could be a quarterback at the next level. And maybe we're finding out, no, or at least the early returns don't look good. This is not about the Eagles giving themselves the best chance to win that week. This was about saving their franchise. Mm-hmm. This is about putting their franchise quarterback on the right track. What did Carson Wentz say a couple weeks ago after he threw interceptions and they lost? This is the way we do things around here. He wasn't held accountable. This is all about holding Carson Wentz accountable. I actually think it's probably too late to do that. You know, everyone making excuses for him at the end of last year, telling him he's playing so great. He didn't do any soul searching in the offseason, right? He thought he was so great. He was reading his press clippings. Everyone was talking about it. I was thinking, no, this is going in the wrong direction. And he needed to be working on some stuff. And this year also, the message he's received is, this is just the way we do things around here. When Donovan McNabb, how often have I brought up Donovan McNabb, right? He was paid money. He was expected to make up for deficiencies. In 2009, he was benched. I want to say it was against Baltimore, right? He was sat down. And he even admitted later that season, that sparked the run. And they wound up in the NFC Championship game because they benched McNabb. They held him accountable, and he had to look in the mirror, and they got better. Carson Wentz it's not about winning that Sunday. It's about the rest of his career and the rest of this contract he has with the Eagles, Stephen A. Doesn't matter if Jalen Hurts is a good enough replacement.
Simple question. When Donovan McNabb was quarterback in the Philadelphia Eagles, who was the owner? It was Jeffrey Lurie.
The owner of the Eagles in 2009? Go ahead.
Yes, that's right. So my response, it was a rhetorical question in that sense. What I'm trying to say, Max, is the real question to you is, why would Jeffrey Lurie and ownership for the Philadelphia Eagles have a problem holding Carson Wentz accountable when they held Donovan McNabb accountable? Do you have an answer to that question?
Stephen A., I don't. I will say that sometimes certain quarterbacks and certain owners have certain relationships. We saw with Tom Brady and Bob Kraft. Tom Brady did an end around the greatest coach of all time, and Bill Belichick. You bring up Jerry Jones and Tony Romo. What I see and what I hear is Jeffrey Lurie and Carson Wentz are good, to the point that guys are scared. And when you hear things, whatever, and you hear it from a couple different places, but when I hear a coach barely able to squeak out a yes, first he avoids the question, he's evasive, then finally it sounds like he got the memo, hey, tell everyone this is your choice. But he doesn't do it with his chest. He's like eating the words before they come out of his mouth, right? And he says, no, and he equivocates. Right. And finally he squeaks out a yes, that he has the power to do it. Do you believe him? You believe he has the power to do it?
See, here's my thing. Joe Banner was in the position that Howie Roseman is in now. So to me, here's the answer. Here's the answer that I'm looking for that I don't have. I'm looking for this answer. Is it true that management elected to give Carson Wentz the contract that he has, usurping the authority of Doug Peterson? Because see, if Doug Peterson didn't want him, then it all makes sense what you're saying. But if Doug Peterson was right there with them when it came to investing this money in Carson Wentz and making him the future of your franchise, then maybe Doug Peterson is scared himself, Max, because he knows that he went upstairs and fought for Carson Wentz to be that guy.
Could be.
And now you got to find a way to make it work.
Yeah.
Those are two different scenarios.
No, you know what? That may be. But he looks scared to me. He looks evasive and scared to me. That may be. It may be that he vouched for Carson Wentz, but he looks scared to me.
Listen, it may also be this. Carson leads the NFL in sacks taken. I realize that, off-target throws, and also interceptions. But at the end of the day, it appears he lost his confidence because we know he can do it. He's done it before, and maybe they don't think it is the right move to bench him, and they don't think Jalen Hurts is the answer. So this is the predicament that they're in, and that's why they haven't taken the steps. But we will continue to see here. Guys, we got plenty more to come here.